When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yeah, babe, to see you again.
僕は君の友達だよ。優しく歌いかける温かいメッセージが心に響いた。
I get a huge boost out of the song whenever I play it. I should say too that when you have a hit, if you're lucky enough to have a hit song that people recognize and that allows you to travel wherever you want in the world and play with musicians, great musicians, and make a living and a life in music, sometimes that song you overplay it, you play it too much, you get tired of it, you get the song sounds tired. That I can't express how lucky I am that it's You've Got a Friend, because that's a song that just never gets tired for me. You know, I get so much energy back from the audience because of it, and I get such a sense of connection.
Because it's a universal sentiment, you know. It's a moving, touching song. It manages to be sentimental without being like a Hallmark card, you know. It's a straightforward sentiment. You know, call me anytime, I'll be there, you've got a friend. It's what people want to hear, and Carole said it better than anyone else ever had, before or since.
You Got a Friend。 君の友達はジェームス・テイラーの友達であるキャロル・キングが作った曲。同じ年に彼女も自身のアルバムでこの曲を歌っている。
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend.
The song You've Got a Friend was a gift. It came through me. I just was sitting at the piano. I didn't know what I was going to write. It just started coming. And I remember thinking, at that time, sometimes we take a little tape recorder and, you know, document what we were doing, but I didn't want to stop. And I kept thinking, I hope I remember this. I hope I remember this. But it came through me, and it was a gift to me, and it's turned out to be a gift to the world, apparently. And no small thanks to James, who has made it, through his wonderful performance, has made it so popular.
It's an incredibly moving song. It's a song that everyone wants to feel that they have someone like that in their life, that is a friend. And Carole took this very simple emotion and this very simple desire and made it into this wonderful piece of music. Well, Carole played it for me, and we all knew it was a great, great song. And just a beautiful and brilliant song. It sounded like it had been around for 20 years the first time I heard it. In other words, it sounded like a classic. Well, he just made it his own instantly, and it sounded like one of his songs. And he just transferred it from Carole's piano style to his beautiful acoustic style. And I fell in. It was very easy to, I mean, we fell into it very quickly.
世界中に響いたメッセージは2人の交流の中から生まれたものだった。
I heard Carole perform it. Maybe one of the first times it was ever, I guess the first time it was ever performed live, you know. So was it, we were at the Troubadour at the time,
I think so.
Yeah. And did you write it around that same time while we were in the, so you just brought that song to work one day, and when I heard it, I just, you know, it was such a, the message was so clear, and the form of it was so elegant and so beautiful and simple, and it was so much in the language that Carole and I we share this musical language, and it was just like I just had to pick up the guitar and play it, you know. I just I immediately, she was playing like a. Trouble, and you need some loving care, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right. Just close your eyes and think, yes, and soon I will be there to brighten, oh, even your darkest night.
You just call out my name, and you know
70年代の音楽シーンに新しい潮流を作ったシンガーソングライター。その代表的アーティストがジェームス・テイラーとキャロル・キング。彼らのプレゼントは時を経ても色あせないかけがえのない名曲となった。
Lord, I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend, yeah. Ain't it good to know you got a friend?
ジェームス・テイラーは1948年ボストンで生まれ、幼少時代をサウスカロライナ州で過ごした。優秀で裕福、そして家族全員が音楽好きという家庭で育った。繊細で感受性が強い子供だったという。
My musical influences, my sources, my you know, it came in various stages. In the beginning, it was just what my family's record collection, you know, the family record collection. And then as time went by, my older brother introduced me to the music he was listening to. And then I met Danny, and we had the group of people that we were hanging out with and making music with. By that time, I was playing the guitar and stuff. So Danny had a huge influence on me.
ジェームス・テイラーに多大な影響を与えたという人物を コネチカット州に訪ねた。その人物とは
How are you doing? I'm Robert. Good, Robert. Come on.
ギタリストのダニー・コーチマー。彼は60年代から90年代にかけてギタリストとしてあるいはプロデューサーとしてウエストコーストサウンドを支え続けてきた。
Martha's Vineyard is a summer vacation spot off of Cape Cod. It's an island off of Cape Cod, and a lot of us went there. My family took me there every summer. James's family took him there every summer. And besides which, a bunch of other people. The Taylors, of course, Alex and the other brothers, and Kate, James's sister, they'd all be up there. And a lot of us pals would just hang out and hitchhike at various beaches and have fun, do what kids did at that time. And we're walking down a road somewhere trying to get a ride, and he starts to sing. And as soon as I heard him sing, I realized that he had it, you know. I was playing guitar before him, and so I was better than him for a little while. And then after about, he came back, we saw each other every summer on the vineyard for many, many years. Him and I and a bunch of other friends, mutual friends of ours. And one summer he came back and it had vastly improved and gotten much better. And it basically formed the style that he plays now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you influenced that style in particular?
I'm sure I did influence it because I was playing before him, but really he made it up himself out of folk music and blues and various other ideas he had in his head.
I played the cello when I was little. My parents, I was from a family of 5 kids, and we all had to play an instrument, you know. So I played the cello, but when I was 12, I got my first guitar, and it was you know, immediately it spoke to me. As soon as I picked it up and started making sounds on it, it pleased me, you know, it engaged me, and I had to get back to it. I just couldn't put it down. And that's really what you hope for.
音楽の才能が開花する一方で、全寮制の厳しい学校に進んだジェームスは、次第に心のバランスを崩していった。
I always knew I wanted to play with James because he was, like I said, he was great even when he was a teenager. And the story has been told many times. He was ensconced in McLean's hospital and had been there, and he decided he couldn't take it anymore. And he escaped, basically went over the wall, hitchhiked to New York City to my apartment, and we started talking about putting a band together immediately.
ジェームスはニューヨークでダニー・コーチマーと共にフライングマシンというバンドを結成。アーティスティックな先進性と自由な気風に満ちたグリニッジビレッジで、彼らはナイトアウルというコーヒーハウスを拠点に活動し、アルバムをリリース。しかしジェームスはヘロイン中毒となり、バンドは活動を停止。ジェームスは心機一転、再出発をかけてロンドンへと向かった。再起を願い、ロンドンでジェームスが訪ねた人物がピーター・アッシャー。彼は当時プロデューサーとして活動していたが、もともとは人気デュオピーター&ゴードンとして数多くのヒット曲を持つアーティストだった。
I was lucky enough to find James Taylor in London, or he found me. The connection was a guitar player called Danny Kortchmar, who's a brilliant musician and a great producer himself. He had been in a band called the King Bees, who backed up the duo that I used to be in called Peter and Gordon on a couple of American tours, and Danny and I had become great friends. Danny Kortchmar gave James my phone number in London, said, here's a friend of mine in London, call him up. And coincidentally, at that same time, I had been asked by Paul McCartney, who was a great friend of mine, to to be part of this record company that they were starting. I'd been in on the discussions about Apple, and he asked me if I would help run Apple and be the head of A&R for the label, which I was delighted to do. So these two things were happening concurrently. So when James came to London and phoned me up, he came over to my flat and played me some songs that I was singularly impressed by. I thought they were brilliant, and I really liked him. And so I said, as it happens, I've started working for this new record label that's run by the Beatles, owned by the Beatles as well, and we would like to sign you, and I'd like to produce your record. And he said yes.
彼はピーター・アッシャーの前でニューヨーク時代に作った曲を数曲歌ったという。
From the start was to cry, girl.
I was extremely impressed. I loved his voice, I loved the songs. I loved his guitar playing particularly, which I think sometimes gets overlooked. His has a remarkable style because he has the technical facility of a classical guitar player and the harmonic sensibilities of a jazz musician, while in some senses remaining grounded in the folk tradition. It sounds a bit muddled, but he makes it all work. Excuse me. No, I was immensely impressed by all of his abilities, and that's why, you know, on the spot I said that this is terrific. You know, we'd like to sign you and make an album.
そしてアップルレコードからデビューアルバムをリリース。
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Now can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Karen, she's a silver sun. You best walk her away and watch it shine. Watch her watch the morning come.
And then Apple was undergoing a couple of setbacks, in my view. Somebody else had come in to run it, and the Beatles were having problems of their own, and Apple was looking a bit dicey. So James and I decided to leave, and I believed that his career would be based in America. So what we decided to do was, James wanted to come back to America anyway, which is where he lived. So I came with him, became his manager, moved to Los Angeles and set myself up as James's manager, and then we proceeded to make the next album in LA.
華々しいデビューを飾ったもののアルバムはヒットせず、ジェームスは激動の60年代が終わりかけていた時、ロサンゼルスへと移った。当時のロサンゼルスの音楽シーンはウエストハリウッドにあるこのライブハウスが中心だった。後にイーグルスを結成するメンバーやジャクソン・ブラウン、J.D. サウザーなどをはじめとした多くのミュージシャンのたまり場となっていた。ジェームスのロックともポップスとも異なるオルタナティブな価値観を持った音楽も次第に受け入れられていった。
Yeah, the Troubadour was central to it. It was one of the main places it was sort of like a stepping stone, you know. It was like if you were really ready to present yourself, because Hollywood is such an industry town, you know, that any job that you play, no matter how small it is, there's always the possibility that, you know, very important people will be in the audience, people will see you, and there will be a lot of talk back and forth about what happens at the Troubadour, what goes on. So it's important, you know. It was a crucial job for us, you know, and.
ロサンゼルスでジェームスは新しいアルバムのレコーディングに入る。そのレコーディングには古くからの友達のダニー・コーチマーがギターで、そしてキャロル・キングがピアニストとして参加した。
Carole and I first met in the mid-'60s, but it was just for a second. When we really got together first time was probably 1970, do you think, in Los Angeles. I had a manager and a producer, a guy named Peter Asher, who I was staying at his house in Los Angeles, and our old friend Danny Kortchmar, Cooch, he introduced us, brought Carole over to Peter's house, and we immediately sat down and started just playing together. And it was, I don't know, what would you say?
A common musical sensibility.
Yeah,
we'd be playing, and I would think about what I wanted him to play next, and he was playing it. I didn't have to tell him. He was where I wanted to hear next, and I think the same was true. It was a wonderful feeling. Our music kind of rolled around each other.
アルバム「スイートベイビー・ジェームス」からシングルカットされた「Fire and Rain」はチャート3位に達する。
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not.
この曲のヒットはまたシンガーソングライターが一躍音楽シーンにクローズアップされたことも意味した。
You know, when he played me Fire and Rain, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And, you know, when he was writing Fire and Rain and Country Road and a few of those tunes, he would play them for me, and I would just be amazed and thrilled, the same as everyone else that heard them. I do know that when Sweet Baby James came out and started to get played, especially Fire and Rain, it just transfixed people and took them over. James is such a tall, impressive guy anyway, and he had exactly the right look for his music. And the girls all loved him, of course. And it just was I think he was perceived as being very talented and very intuitive and somebody with something to say.
Fire and Rain がヒットする中、ジェームスは再びトルバドールのステージに立つこととなった。このライブではキャロル・キングもステージに立ち、ピアノを弾き、歌うことになっていた。そのサウンドチェックの際、彼女が偶然弾き始めたのがこの曲だった。そしてこの曲はその時2階席にいたジェームスの心に深く響いたのだ。
As soon as I heard it, I knew, I recognized the changes. I could hear in my mind how it would go on the guitar. I just picked up the guitar and it came right out. No waiting, no fooling around or experimenting with how did she do this, how did she do that. It was like, you know, really very similar to the way she wrote it. It just came through her, and as soon as I heard it, I knew how to play it, and that's why the song is so iconic. It's why it's such a classic. It's so because it sounds as though it was always there. The song sounds as though that as soon as people were writing popular music that sounded at all like that song existed.
神様がキャロル・キングに送った曲、そしてジェームスの心に触れたこの曲を2人はそれぞれの形で世に送ることとなる。1971年にレコーディングされリリースされたジェームス・テイラーのアルバム「マッド・スライド・スリム」。このアルバムの制作に関わった人物をバーモント州バーリントンに訪ねた。迎えてくれたのはこのアルバムのレコーディングエンジニア。
Our goal was to make the record sound like James and the musicians sounded like. We wanted people to feel like they were sitting in their living room listening to these guys play. And so even now today, it was almost 40 years ago, even now today, if I listen to the music, it sounds real. It sounds just like what they sounded like in the studio. I would go out in the studio and I'd say, play a little on the guitar for me. And I'd put my ear up to his guitar and listen to it, and then go back into the control room and make sure it sounded just like that. So we wanted it to be real. James really liked just to play his music. It was pure. There was a purity to what he was doing in those days that was delicious. Easy as pie to work with, as long as he didn't have to wait for you, because his vocals were great. His acoustic guitar playing was so easy to record. The only acoustic guitar player that I'd recorded up until then that I actually had to reduce the bottom end on because the sound of his guitar was so full. Particularly about the way that song got recorded was how James and Kortch, how the guitars were so sweet. And the whole recording of it was very spacious, very spacious. Even when you listen to it today, there's not a lot on there. And yet, everything fell into place.
長年活動を共にしたダニー・コーチマーによる演奏は、ジェームスのギターにさらに厚みを加えた。
So generally when we're playing this tune, James will play down here, and I'd play up here. And I'd play about half of what he's playing. So he's playing the full thing, I'm playing like... Well, it was very smooth. We moved very quickly. At the time, you didn't spend a million years in the studio. Things happened very quickly. Once we had the songs in place, we probably did some rehearsing previous to going in, and we would just go in and go song by song. We probably cut 2 or 3 songs a day, which is the way things were done at that time.
We had done 2 other songs that day in the studio, and I said, Danny Kortchmar, Lee Sklar, Russell Kunkel, they were all in the studio. Russell got on congas. Lee played an amazingly sort of busy bass part on it, lots and lots of notes. I mean, really, we were playing it like, let's give this one a try, let's play around with it. It wasn't like, okay, now we're going to record this. It was like the third thing, we're still set up, we've got more studio time that day, what are we going to do? Let's try You've Got a Friend. So Kortch played acoustic guitar, beautiful, and it was just one of those perfect throwaway kind of gestures that just hit it right on the head right then. And I put a vocal on it immediately, one pass, it was there. We cut the track separate from the, but we were relaxed, we were loose, we weren't worrying, we got to make it through without a mistake, or it was just very free, and you can hear it in the recording. It was very loose.
ある日キャロル・キングが奏でた曲はまるでジェームスの曲のように馴染み、ジェームス・テイラーの「君の友達」が生まれたのだ。
And you need a helping hand and nothing.
しかしキャロルはジェームスがこの曲をレコーディングしていることを知らなかったという。
And Joni came in and sang the backgrounds after we'd finished. I remember Carole came by, I think that evening, possibly the next day, to hear it. And I remember her crying when she heard it, which was very touching, and loving it. That was about it. But it was, it was quite matter of fact at the time. We all thought it sounded good. I thought it was going to be a hit. I was very happy with it. But essentially, when you're there working, it's work. You just carry on.
All I know is one day I showed up for a session, I think for the Mudslide Slim album.
Yeah.
And Peter Asher, who was producing him at the time, said, I'd like you to listen to this song. And they play it over the speakers, and I'm like, oh my God, it's wonderful.
同じ時期キャロル・キングもまた自らのセカンドソロアルバム「つづれ折り」のレコーディングをしていた。それまでキャロルは主に作曲を手掛けていたが、この頃には自分で作詞もするようになっていた。
So far away, doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? It would be so fine to see your face at my door. It doesn't help to know you're just time away. Long ago I reached for you and there you stood.
Carole would suggest what she wanted from me. I already had a style that kind of fit what she was doing, I guess, and because that's why I was there. And I would listen to what she had to say and what Lou had to say, which wasn't much. You know, they left us to our own devices to some degree, and it just came about. It happened very quickly. The Tapestry was made in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something. It's over, you know. So, like I said, that's the way records were made back at that time. I think she just sits down and goes to write what's ever going through her head and sees what she can come up with. I don't think she does a lot of thinking about it. Once she gets going, then she refines it. You Got a Friend she wrote the lyrics as well, and this is one of the first tunes she wrote the lyrics to herself. And I think she was moved by the fact of, I would venture to guess that she wrote it about James, but she may have written it about all of us that were hanging around at that time, because we were all very close and very supportive. We all loved each other a lot. So
That's interesting.
you'd have to ask her, but that's my guess.
Oh, it's whoever you want it to be. It's your best friend. It's the person you want to say it to.
「そしてキャロル自身もアルバムにこの曲を収録。
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care and nothing is going right.
Recording You've Got a Friend was similar to writing, and in that my recording of it was, I just did that with Charlie Larkey on bass, just him and me. And so it was really easy.
Even your darkest night,
アルバム「つづれ折り」は大ヒットとなり、
you just
翌年のグラミーでキャロル・キングは4冠を達成した。
and you know wherever I am,
そしてジェームス・テイラーも
I'll come running
「君の友達」で最優秀男性ボーカル賞を受賞。
to see you again.
Tapestry was Album of the Year. You've Got a Friend was Song of the Year. Your recording of it, I think, was.
Yeah, that's right. And Best Male Vocal that year, and it was, you know, it was a big honor, but we were totally oblivious to it. You know, awards didn't figure into it for some reason in those days. It's hard to describe, but it was really just what was right in front of you. You know, there was nothing outside of just who's in the room, what are you doing today, maybe what are you doing next Friday, but there was no future, and there was nothing outside of your immediate surroundings. You know, it's just the things that you were focused on right there were that was it, and it was that way for a long time.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call up my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yeah, babe, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, now all you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a friend.
ロサンゼルスのあるリハーサルスタジオに彼らの姿があった。ジェームス・テイラーとキャロル・キングが当時を再現すべく共演、世界ツアーを行うことになったのだ。
When this whole world starts getting me down, and people are just too much for me to face, I climb way up to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof, it's peaceful as can be, and there the world below can't bother me.
Keep on telling you to come home, feeling tired and beat. Come on, go up where the air is fresh and sweet. I'll get far away from the hustle and the crowd and all that rat race noise out in the street. Oh yeah, on the roof, that's the only place I know now in the city, baby, where you just have to wish to make it so. Let's go up on mine.
Thank you.
今回のツアーは2007年にジェームス・テイラーとキャロル・キングが行った特別ライブの再演。
Which one is your favorite song?
Oh, you got a friend.
Yeah.
You got a friend.
It's too late.
It's my
Yes,
friend.
yes, that's right.
He's a very nice man.
Very nice photo.
Very nice. Thank
You guys
you.
look like a duo.
Do we like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everybody that I grew up with listened to Carole King and James Taylor. You've got a friend.
You got a friend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I understand that that's what they played here together for the first time. That was the first time they debuted it. So it's going to be really exciting to see them do it again. It's going to be great.
そのステージには40年近く経った今も共に歌える喜びがあふれていた。
When you're down and trouble and you need some love and care and nothing, oh, nothing is going right. Just close your eyes, think of me. Yes, and soon I will be there to brighten up, yeah, even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. It really, the song "You've Got a Friend" is maybe one of the, aside from meeting my wife, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know.
Thank
Really,
you.
really the best.
I feel meeting you was very, very super important in my life too,
Well, it
very
was
much
too.
so.
It was too.
いつでも駆けつけてくれる友がいる喜び、決して色あせない永遠の一曲。 You Got a Friend、 君の友達。
When you're down and trouble and you need a helping hand and nothing, oh, nothing is going right.
Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night.
You just call out my name, call it out, yeah, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just as fast as I can to see you again.
See you again.
Oh yes, don't you know about that winter, spring, summer, or fall? All you gotta do is call on me, and I'll be there, yeah, yes, I'll be there. You got a friend. You've got yourself a friend. Ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? Walking and talking tonight, yeah.
Ain't it good to know?
Ain't it good to know? Ain't it good to know? Ain't it good to know? Ain't it good to know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Got a friend.
つねうどんにたぬきそば2つ。間違い電話でした。
あなたの声でより良い広告へ。
番号はお間違いなく。
時が全てを見ている。王国の建設を、伝説の誕生を目指そう。永遠に続く帝国を。
来たれ勇者たち、私のヒーローにならない？
ゲームオブウォー無料配信中。